Assalamu alaikum. I'm Dr. Wa'il Muhammad, PhD in Applied Mathematics from Egypt. Now we are going to solve Pearson Edexcel International Advanced Level Pure Mathematics P2 paper, which is a sample assessment paper recommended from Edexcel official website. Okay, let's go. 1. F of x equals x power 4 plus x power 3 plus 2x squared plus ax plus b, where a and b are constants. When f of x is divided by x minus 1, the remainder is 7. A show that a plus b equal 3. Okay, how we can use this information? Of course, we will use the remainder theorem, which states that f of the value which will make this bracket 0, the value of x which will make this bracket 0 is 1, equals the remainder which is 7. So we will replace x with 1 here. 1 plus 1, 2 plus 2, 4, 4 plus a plus b, 4 plus a plus b equals 7, and so that we can say that a plus b equals 7 minus 4, which is 3. This is the first part, okay? When f of x is divided by x plus 2, the remainder is negative 8. Find the value of a and the value of b. It's very simple. We will use the remainder theorem again, but here we will say f of minus 2 equals minus 8. And then we will get another equation with a and b and then solving them simultaneously. So we name this equation number 1. And here we will say f of negative 2 equals negative 8, okay? After substituting with negative 2, we have 16 minus 8, and then plus 8 minus 2a plus b equals minus 8. So 8 will cancel negative 8, 16 will move to the other side with negative 16. So we will have minus 2a plus b equal minus 24. This is the second equation. Solving this equation simultaneously by subtracting, okay, we can say 1 minus 2. We can say equation number 1 minus equation number 2. We will have a minus minus 2a, which means 3a, and then b minus b will be cancelled, and then 3 minus minus 24 will be 3 plus 24, which is 27. A equals 9 in equation number 1, b equals 3 minus 9, which means that b equals minus 6. Okay. 2. The first term of a geometric series is 20. This is a, and the common ratio is 7 over 8. This is r. Okay. The sum to infinity of the series is s infinity. A, find the value of s infinity. It's very interesting piece of cake. S infinity equals a divided by 1 minus r, which means 20 over 1 minus 7 over 8. 1 minus 7 over 8 is 1 over 8. Down, down, up will be 160. Finish. Okay. The sum to n capital terms of the series is Sn. Find to one decimal place the value of S12. Okay, very interesting also. We can say the rule here, Sn equals, since r is 7 over 8, we can use 1 minus r here, and here a multiplied by 1 minus r power n. Okay, so n here is 12. So S12 will be the following. S12 will be as the following. Here 1 minus 7 over 8. I will write here 20 multiplied by 1 minus 7 over 8 to the power of 12. Close the bracket. Okay. The answer should be 127.773 and so on, approximately equal 127.8 to one decimal place as the question required. C. Find the smallest value of n capital for which s infinity minus Sn capital less than half. Of course, S infinity is greater. This question has 4 marks. Okay. Starting from S infinity minus Sn less than half. S infinity is 160, okay, minus Sn will be the same as this part, but with replacing 12 with n capital. So we can make some simplification like 1 minus 7 over 8 is 1 over 8, and down, down, up, it will be 160 multiplied by 1 minus 7 over 8 all to the power of n capital, as we said, less than half, okay. We can divide by 160 to simplify this. It will be 1 minus bracket 1 minus 7 over 8 all power n less than half over 160, and expanding the bracket negative 1 negative negative plus, so the 1 will cancel negative 1. Finally we'll have 7 over 8 all to the power of n capital less than half divided by 160, right? So we can take a look of both sides. So n capital logarithm 7 over 8 less than logarithm half divided by 160, okay. Dividing by logarithm 7 over 8. Here we have a very tricky part, which is when dividing by anything you should think, is this thing is negative or positive? Because if it's negative I will switch the sign of inequality, if it's positive I will keep it as it is. So of course logarithm 7 over 8 is negative, okay, and so that we will write n is larger than, we will switch the inequality sign. It's very important part here. It will be logarithm half divided by 160 over logarithm 7 over 8, okay. After calculating it we can see that n capital, as you know, n should be natural number, so it'll be L will 44, okay. 3. Y equals square root of 3 power x plus x. A. Complete the table below giving the values of y to 3 decimal places. Okay, it's very simple part. These are the answers, okay. B. Use the trapezium rule with all the values of y from your table to find an approximation for the value of integration from 0 to 1 the same function dx. You must show clearly how you obtained your answer, okay. Of course, this is a very simple part here. This is y0, this is y1, y2, y3, and y4, and the rule states that the area or the integral here, the integral is approximately equal half times h multiplied by y0 plus yn, which is 4, plus double y1 plus y2 plus y3. What's the value of h here? H is the step, which is the difference between the two x's here, which is quarter, 0.25. So the answer will be 0.25 over 2 multiplied by y0 plus y4, which is 1 plus 2, which is 3, plus 2 multiplied by y1 plus y2 plus y3, and the final answer will be 1.4965. Okay. C. Explain how the trapezium rule could be used to obtain a more accurate estimate for the value of this integration. We have many answers, but from the simplest one, we can say we can decrease the value of h, decreasing the value, or you can say h is strips width, okay. 4. Given n belongs to a set of natural numbers, prove by exhaustion that n squared plus 2 is not divisible by 4. Okay, we can say first for even n, for even n. Okay, we can say that n equals 2k, where k equals 0, 1, 2, and so on. If we replace 2k instead of n here, we can write 2k all squared plus 2, which is 4k squared plus 2, right? Okay, what's the meaning of divisible by 4? Which numbers can be divisible by 4? The numbers that are multiple of 4, right? So 4k squared is multiple of 4, of course. We can write 4k squared is divisible by 4, right? Because it's a multiple of 4. That's why 4k squared plus 2 is not, right? Is not. Because if we want to give another number divisible by 4, we should add 4. We can't add just 2. Okay? This is for the even case. Second, we can write if n is odd, which means that n can be written as 2k plus 1. Okay, replace again 2k plus 1, and instead of n we can write 2k plus 1 all squared plus 2 will be 4k squared. Okay, 4k squared plus 4k plus 1 plus 2. These are also multiple of 4, so they are divisible by 4. The same reason, divisible by 4. If we add 3, okay, if we add 3, the final result will not be divisible by 4, which is not divisible by 4. Okay, again, the first two terms are divisible by 4, so their sum is also divisible by 4. After the sum, we add 3, just 3. If you want to get another number which is divisible by 4, we should add 4, not 3. Okay, that's it. So from 1 and 2, we can say from first and second, from first and second. Please, you should write the same sentence. Try to write the same sentence. We can say for all natural numbers, for all n belongs to n capital, n squared plus 2 is not divisible by 4. Okay, شباب? Okay. 5. An arithmetic series has first term a and common difference d. A proves that the sum of the first n terms of the series is given by this formula. Okay, this is a very interesting proof. We can write it quickly as the following. Let Sn equals a plus the second term will be a plus d, then plus a plus 2d, and so on till the previous of the last term, which is L minus D, and then finally we write L. Okay, this is number 1. We can say where L is the last term, which is UN, equals L, equals what? Equals A plus N minus 1D. Okay, again we can replace the order, we can inverse the order and write Sn equals L. I will begin with the end of the equation number 1, L plus L minus D, and then L minus 2D, and so on till reach the beginning of equation number 1, which is A plus D, and finally A. This is the second equation. Adding 1 and 2, we can write 1 plus 2 to get double of the sum, 2Sn equals, if we add a plus l here, this is the first here from plus the first here. When we add the second with the second, d will cancel negative t, and we have also a plus l. And the third with the third will be also a plus l, because 2d will cancel negative 2d. So we have n a plus l. Okay. Finally, you can write Sn as n over 2 multiplied by a plus l. And as we stated before, that l is the nth term, so we can write it as n over 2 multiplied by 2a plus n minus 1d. Okay, that's it. A company which is making 200 mobile phones each week, okay, plans to increase its production. The number of mobile phones produced is to be increased by 20 each week, from 200 in week 1 to 220 in week 2 to 240 in week 3, and so on until its production 600 in week n. So it's arithmetic sequence with first term 200 and d 20. Find the value of n. Here we have the value of the term, and the required is to get the order of the term. The order of the term. Okay. So to answer part B here, we have the following sequence: 200, 220, 240, and so on. And then we have UN equal 600, okay? UN is A, which is 200, plus D, which is 20 times N minus 1, okay? Equals 600. So move 200 to the right hand side, 600 minus 200, 400, divided by 20, so n should be 21. Okay. The company then plans to continue to make 600 mobile phones in the week with order 22. The production will be 600. It will be fixed to be 600. I will not increase in my production, but I will fix it to be 600 only. Okay. Part C, find the total number of mobile phones that will be made in the first 52 weeks, starting from and including week 1. So it's very clear to divide this 52 weeks into two parts, from 1 to 21, which is in the arithmetic sequence, and then from 22 to 52, which is fixed part here. Okay. So for part C, we can write S52 will be S21 plus, we have 52 minus 21 will be 31, right? We have 31 multiplied by 600 because this is the fixed part. What about S21? This can be dealt as arithmetic sequence, arithmetic sum. So it will be 21 over 2 multiplied by a, which is 200, plus the last term, which is 600, and that's it. Okay, plus 3 times 6, I think 18, and 600. Okay, the total sum should be 27,000 mobiles. Okay. 6i, find the exact value of x for which logarithm 2x to the base 2 equals logarithm 5x plus 4 to the base 2 minus 3. Okay, we have two methods to solve such problem. Method number 1, I will move negative 3 to the left side with positive 3, and then move logarithm 2x to the base 2 to the right side with negative sign. So I will have in the right side logarithm to the base 2 of what? Of 5x plus 4 minus logarithm 2x. Log minus log, 1 log of the division, which is 5x plus 4 divided by 2x. Okay, 2x, sorry. And then I will make the following: 2 power 3 equals this part. Okay, I like this cycle very much. 2 power 3 is 8, equals 5x plus 4 over 2x, and then it will be 16x equals 5x plus 4, which means x equals 4 over 11. Okay. The second method depends of rewriting 3 as logarithm to the base 2. Okay. The idea here is 3 equal logarithm what to the base 2? Okay, according to the same cycle, 2 power 3 is 8. This is our key here. So I will move negative 3 to the other side, but I will rewrite it as logarithm a to the base 2. So the equation will be logarithm 2x to the base 2 plus logarithm a to the base 2 equals logarithm 5x plus 4 for the same base. And so that we can write here just one log for the product of 8 times 2x, which is 16x, for the same base of course, equals logarithm also 5x plus 4 to the base 2, and so that 16x will be equal 5x plus 4, which will get the same answer, x equals 4 over 11. Okay, double I, given that logarithm y to the base a plus 3 logarithm 2 to the base a equals 5, express y in terms of a, give you. So first I will raise 3 to the power of 2 here, and then we have log plus log can be simplified to just one log of the multiplication of the product. Log 2 power 3 is 8, so it will be 8y to the base of a equals 5, which means that a to the power of 5, the same cycle, a to the power of 5 is equal to 8y, a to the power of 5, and finally we can write y as a to the power of 5 divided by 8. This is the answer. Okay. 7. Oh, very interesting question. The circle with the equation x squared plus y squared minus 7x minus 16y plus 139 equals 0 had center C and radius R. A, find the coordinates of C. B, show that R equal 5. Okay, it's very easy. Of course, we know that we will complete the square, right? So x minus half of the coefficient of x, which is 10, all power 2, and then minus 100, which is the square of this part, and then we will make the same with for y minus 8, y minus 8 all squared, and then minus 64 plus 139 plus 139 equals 0, which is x minus 10 all squared plus y minus 8 all squared equals 25. So the answer of part A, the center, will be 10 and 8, 10 and 8 of course. For part B, the radius will be square root of 25, which is 5 as the question asks. Okay. The line with equation x equals 13 crosses the circle at the points P and Q as shown in figure 1. This is x equals 13, and these are the 2 points P and Q. Okay. Part C, find the y-coordinate of P and the y-coordinate of Q. We have two methods. One of them is algebraically and the second geometrically. Let's solve by using these two methods. In method 1, we can put x equal 13, right? And then substitute. It will be 13 minus 10, 3 power 2 will be 9. Okay, and so that y minus 8 all squared will be 25 minus 9, which is 16. So we can get y minus 8 equals positive or negative 4, which means either y equals 8 plus 4, which is 12, or y equals 8 minus 4, which is 4. And if you remember the figure, the upper point is P and the lower point is Q. Okay. The second method is geometrically. So remember that the coordinate of the center is 10 and 8 and the radius is 5. So the x-coordinate of C is 10. The distance from here to here is 10. But the distance from y to the x equal 13 axis, or line, sorry, is 13. So what about this distance only? This distance should be 13 minus 10, which is 3. Okay, and the radius is 5, as we said. The radius is 5. So it is 3 and 5, the hypotenuse, okay? And of course, this is perpendicular. So this part will be 4. How we can get this? By Pythagoras Theorem, square root of 25 minus 9. And we know that this is a very common or famous triangle 3, 4, 5. This distance is 4 and also this distance is 4. Okay? So the y-coordinate of C now, the y-coordinate is 8. The distance from C to x-axis is 8. If we add 4 to 8, it will be 12, which is y-coordinate of P. And if we subtract 4 from 8, it will be 4. So we can write yp is 8 plus 4 and yq is 8 minus 4, right? Geometrically from figure we can write yp equals 8 plus 4, which is 12, and yq is 8 minus 4, which is 4. A tangent to the circle from O touch the circle at point x capital. Find insert from the length OX. It's a very interesting question with 3 marks only, okay? Okay, in the figure I draw OX here. This is the tangent segment. And we have this distance OC. We can calculate it easily because we have the coordinate of C, 10 and 8. And also we have the radius is 5. This is the radius, 5. Okay? So we form a right angle triangle at x because the radius is perpendicular to the tangent. So we can write easily OX equals the hypotenuse squared minus 5 squared. Okay? We can write here which is OC squared equals 10 squared plus 8 squared. Okay, will be 164. And so that's the distance OX will be square root of the hypotenuse, which is hypotenuse squared 164 minus the radius squared, which is 25, and the answer will be square root of 139. Question 8. Figure 2 shows sketch of the part of the curves C1 and C2, the equations. This is the first equation, this is the second equation, and then the curve C1 C2 intersect at the points A and B. Verify that the point A has coordinates 1 and 1. Verify means just check, okay? So we can answer part A directly by putting x equal 1 and y equal 1 in both curves, okay? And then compare between the two sides. If we put x equal 1 here in the first curve for C1, we can say the left hand side is 1 and the right hand side will be 10 minus 1 minus 8, which is 1, okay? And for the second curve, if we put x equal 1, we will have, of course, 1 equals 1, 1 cubed equals 1, okay? So also it's correct. So 1 and 1 must be on both curves, okay? Very easy. B. Use algebra to find the coordinates of the point B. We will equate the two curves, of course, and then try to factorize it, to equate it with, to solve it, okay? Then we can rearrange it to be, okay, but don't forget that x equals 1 is a root, or we can say that x minus 1 is a factor, okay? So x minus 1 is a factor, as we said. To get the other factors, we can make long division, or we can comparing coefficients, okay? I prefer to use the method of comparing coefficients. So I will write this polynomial equals x minus 1 multiplied by ax squared plus bx plus c. By comparing coefficient of x power 3, we have from the left side 1, of course, and we have from the right side x times ax squared will be ax cubed, and the coefficient will be a. So we get the value of a. If we compare the coefficient of x squared, we have from the left side also 1. Okay, from the right side we can get x squared by multiplying x with ax squared, sorry, ax with bx, and in this case our coefficient is b. And also we can get x squared by multiplying negative 1 with ax squared, and our coefficient here is minus a. A is 1, so b should be 1 plus 1, b is 2. Okay, and finally we can put x equals 0 in both sides. From the left we have 8, from the right if I put x equals 0 it will be negative 1, and if you put x equals 0 in the right bracket it will be c, so negative c. Okay, which means that c is negative 8. So we can write our equation as the following. This part can be written as x minus 1 multiplied by x squared, because a is 1, okay, and then plus 2x since b equals 2, and finally minus 8 equals 0, which can be factorized to be x minus 1 multiplied x plus 4 multiplied by x minus 2 equals 0. And don't forget that all the graph was in the positive part of x, right? So I will take x equal to, we have x equal 1 for the point A, and so that x b should be 2. Okay, look at the figure here, b is in the positive part of x, and also in the equation here x positive, okay, in both curves, and y equal x cubed, so it will be 2 power 3, which is 8. So the coordinate of b will be 2 and 8. Okay, the finite region R capital is bounded by C1 and C2. Use calculus to find the exact area of R. Integration, of course, right? If we look at the figure, okay, the upper part is 10x minus x squared minus 8, and the lower curve is x power 3. We should write integration of the upper minus lower, the upper or the top minus the bottom, okay? So we will integrate the following. Okay, this is the upper curve, 10x minus x squared minus 8, okay, and then minus the lower curve, which is x power 3, and of course we are integrating with respect to x, the x here, and the limits of integration from the x coordinate of a, which is 1, to the x coordinate of b, which is 2. Okay, so it will be 10 over 2, which is 5x squared, and then minus 1/3 x power 3 minus 8x, okay, and then minus 1 over 4 x power 4, and we will put our limits here from 1 to 2, substituting by 2 minus substituting by 1. The final answer will be equals 11 over 12. Okay, question 9i, solve for theta more than or equal to 0 less than pi the equation, this equation, okay, giving your answer in terms of pi. Okay, so that we can write sine 3 theta equals square root of 3 cosine 3 theta, and then tan 3 theta equals root 3. But here we have very important part, which is theta is between 0 and pi, more than or equal to 0 less than pi. We are not talking about theta, we are talking about 3 theta, so I should multiply all sides by 3. It will be 0 also here, but here we have 3 pi. 3 pi, which means 1 revolution and half revolution, okay? Okay, the first answer will be 3 theta equal I will call it 3 theta 1. Okay, it will be shift tan root 3 will be pi over 3. Okay, this is the angle in the first equation. And then 3 theta 2 will be tan inverse, sorry, will be pi plus our answer here, pi plus pi over 3, which is 4 pi over 3. Okay, and then after making one revolution, we can also get a third solution in the first equation after the one revolution. Or we can say theta 3 equals 2 pi plus pi over 3, which means 3 theta 3, sorry, 3 theta 3, which means 7 pi over 3. Okay, don't forget 2 divided by 3 for all cases. So theta 1 will be pi over 6, pi over 9, sorry. And theta 2 will be 4 pi over 9. And finally, theta 3 will be 7 pi over 9. Okay, this is the first part. Level I, given that 4 sine squared x plus cosine x equals 4 minus k between cosine squared x, right? So I will replace sine squared with this and expand 4 in this bracket. It will be 4 minus 4 cosine squared x plus cosine x equals 4 minus k. Okay, after rearranging the equation, we can find 4 cosine squared x by moving this to the right hand side, and then minus cosine x. The 4 in both sides can be cancelled, and then minus k equals 0. It's a quadratic equation but in cosine x, right? So we can say a equals 4, b equals negative 1, and c equals negative k, and solve the quadratic equation by the general formula. We can say cosine x equals negative b, which is 1, plus or minus square root of b squared, which is 1 also, minus 4 times negative 1, sorry, times negative k, so plus here 16k divided by 2a, which is 8, right? B in double I said, when k equals 3, find the values of x in the range 0 and 360. B at k equal 3, we have cosine x will be 1 plus or minus square root of 60 times 3, 48 plus 1, 49, right? Divided by 8. So we can say either cosine x equals 1 plus 7, 8 over 8, which is 1, or cosine x will be 1 minus 7, which is minus 6 over 8, which can be simplified to minus 3 over 4. X here between 0 and 360. Our answer should be in degrees, right? So cosine x equal 1 means that x is 0, or x here, cosine x is negative. Of course, you know, according to Aztec rule, okay, the cosine is negative in the second and third equation. So we can write or x equals 180 minus cosine inverse 3 over 4, or x equals 180 plus cosine inverse this value 3 over 4, okay, which are 139 degrees and 3 significant figures, okay, or 200, 221, okay. Thank you and good luck.